Hello and welcome back. This is episode 9, only one off 10 episodes. I can't believe, I know I said it in my last episode, but I actually can't believe that we're nearly at 10 episodes. This is honestly, it's been so good to do this podcast and to record these episodes because, like I said in my first, I think it was the intro episode, I've literally wanted to do this podcast for months and I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying talking about what I'm passionate about, just and helping people as well with their mindset. Um, you might be able to tell that I sound a little bit bunged up. I am indeed ill again. So got rid of it with when I had it before Christmas. Got rid of it, thought okay, I'm fine. And then after Christmas, started to feel ill again. But it was weird because before Christmas, it was just a cold and I was like really bunged up. But then I started like feeling sick, my appetite was off and things like that. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, you know, I might just be, I don't know, feeling a little bit off. But then I've got the cold back. Um, so started off with just a chesty cough. And it wasn't like a constant cough. But it was just like every now and again. And I'd wake up in the morning and my chest would just feel really heavy. And then again, had no appetite, feeling sick, and just felt really tired. And I mean, New Year's Day, I just, I slept all day and I still felt tired. I still had no energy. I was just so lifeless. And today is the first day, well, yesterday actually, yesterday was the first day because I had a little bit of a lie in because I didn't start work till 10 and yesterday was the first day I actually felt like I had a little bit more energy, but today I've just felt like a little bit lifeless again, and my nose has started now, so I've got the cold back. I don't know if I've got the flu. I've been talking to a few people that's been ill over the Christmas period, and a couple of people have said they felt the same, like lifeless, tired all the time, and just no appetite. And that's not like me to be off my food because I love my food. But anyway, getting into today's episode, um, I hope everyone's feeling ready for the year ahead. I know we are at the 4th of January now. I was so excited for this year to begin. I mean, I didn't think that I would be ill at the start of the year, but hey ho, things happen and I'll be fine. But I was so excited for all the things that I've got planned for this year. Um, and I'm working on something that I'm really, really excited about, and that I will let you in on when it's all set up and ready to go. But I wanted to talk about something that I've found really difficult. Not recently, but when I started my personal development journey. Um, and that's about putting yourself first. So if you're an empath, which I am, then you'll understand when I say that you're always thinking about other people or you're always feeling other people's emotions, stresses, etc. And you care for other people. And it's not wrong to care for other people. It's nice to care for other people and it's nice to want to put other people first. But it comes to a point where you start putting others before yourself. And some people can say, okay, well, that's just being selfless. And yeah, fair enough. Sometimes in some situations, it is nice to put others before yourself and think about their feelings first. But not when it actually affects you mentally, or if it, I don't know, like if it just mentally isn't good for you to put other people's feelings before your own. And, I'm talking about people that rely on you. People can rely on you far too much. And this, I would say, more so happens with family members, if anything. It can also happen with friends as well. Friends can, rely on you far too much to be there for them all the time. But then in the long run, who's there for you? Do you know what I mean? But, and sometimes you have those friendships where you're there for each other, sort of say, I have that friendship with my best friends, and like, it's a two-way street. Do you know what I mean? I'm there for them and they're there for me. And it's always been that way. But if it's not that way, then you sort of need to step back and be like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not getting anything back from this person. But it's not even just those relationships where it's one sided. It's also, like I say, it could be family members. Now, I used to want to be there for everybody else and make everyone else happy and things like that, but it actually came to a point where I was just kind of letting myself down in a sense, and it wasn't really what was best for me. And that doesn't mean that I don't care about those people. It doesn't mean that I don't care about my family or my friends, because for God forbid, if they needed me and they were in, a bad situation and they needed us right then and there, I would, you know, jump through hoops to get to them, sort of saying they know that. Um, well, they should know that. But I have had a few people, you know, get the feeling that I just don't care anymore because I'm not there as much as what I used to be. And that's not the case. And, I can't blame these people because they just don't get it. They don't understand. And I feel like if you're not in the same mindset, if you don't think the same way, then you're not going to get it. You're not going to understand at the end of the day. And that's fine. I can only say so much that it's not that I don't care. It's just something that I need to do for myself. When I started personal development, I actually learned that maybe sometimes I do need to take a little bit of time out to recharge. And I'm not one of those people that's always in your pocket. I can't be because I need my own space. And I am very grateful because I have friends that actually understand that. And I do. Sometimes I don't see my friends, especially one of my best friends. Um, she doesn't live very far from me, but I might not see her as much as what maybe I did at one time. You know what I mean? I'm not there all the time. I don't message her all the time, like every second of every day. And I'm really, really lucky and I'm really grateful in the sense that she is one of those friends that she just gets it. She gets when I need to take some time out, just for some self care or even just to recharge my social battery because my social battery does run out. So sometimes it can be really, really hard and people can make you feel bad. People can make you feel bad and be like, oh, well, I feel like you're being a little bit selfish. You're not here as much, or you're not as round as much. Like, what's wrong? Have I done something wrong? Like, do you not care? And yada yada yada. And it could be like something that they have going on in their life, and they're like, "Well, I thought you would be there for me more," and things like this. And do you know what it is? Again, it all comes down to them not getting it. They don't understand, and you can't always be there for everyone. You can't always be there 24/7 for everybody. I mean, you have to be there for yourself. for your own mental health, for your own mental sanity, you have to start putting your foot down and saying, I'm gonna do what's best for me. And at the end of the day, people might not like that. You might lose people because of it, but don't sit there and think, oh, like, I can't do this and I can't do what's best for me. I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to let them keep relying on me and doing things for them or being there for them, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose them. Listen, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. This is gonna sound really awful, but I don't mean it to sound awful. At the end of the day, what I'm about to say, it is the truth. And it's hard hitting and it might be a hard pill to swallow for some people. But I used to cling on to friendships all the time. Like, and I feel like maybe that's why I never said no to anyone. That's another thing that I wanted to actually say as well. You need to learn how to say no, because for God's sake, like, I used to I used to say yes all the time. Like, my ex friends, like friends that I'm not, people that I'm no longer friends with, I used to say yes all the time. And the only reason I did was because whenever I said no to that person, it would cause an argument. They would get mad at me, like, asking us to do things and things like that. And I would, if I, God forbid, I said no, it would just cause a massive argument, and then I would feel anxious and I'd feel bad, and I wouldn't want to lose that friendship because, you know, well, at the time, I was just like, well, no, this is my best friend. I don't want to lose this friendship. And then I realized that I was only hurting myself. And I realized that I wasn't really helping myself. I was making things harder for myself. And it wasn't really good for me. It was quite a toxic relationship. I'm not gonna lie. It was. Um, and at the end of the day, I'm not perfect, but that person was very toxic. And they would just literally, they didn't like me having other friends either, you know, and they always wanted me to be there 24/7. I had to be there 24/7 in their pocket. And now that I look back at it, they were quite a clingy friend, to be honest. And I don't do clingy people. I just don't. I can't. Like I say, I haven't got the energy for it. I don't have the social battery for you to be clingy with us. I really don't. And if you are a clingy person, then it's not good for us to be friends, because you will probably feel upset at times, because I'm not a clingy person. I'm not there all the time. Like I say, when I say I'm not there, I don't mean that I'm never there for my friends, because I am. Like, God, like, if one of my friends needed me, all they have to do is message me and I'm there. Do you know what I mean? Just reach out. That's not what I'm saying, but what I mean is physically, you know, not mentally, physically. I can't be around you 24/7. I can't be around anyone 24/7. I mean, I live with my parents and I can't even be around them 24/7 because it drives us insane. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is you're going to get people in your life that are going to be like that. And you have to come to a point where you have to come to a point where you sit and say, no, I can't do this anymore. This is really affecting my mental health, and I need to say no. And it might take you a couple of times before you actually learn to stand your ground and be confident in it and say, I can't do this anymore. And that relationship will deteriorate. You will feel that relationship break down. And yes, okay, you might feel a little bit sad for a while because they were a part of your life, but you'll get over it in time. Trust me, I've been there, you will. It's not the be all and end all. You will get over it. And that is how I feel. Don't get me wrong, like my current relationships, like my current friendships, I never want to lose a single one of them. But I know that I'm going to continue to do what is best for me and for my own sanity and for my mental health. And if one of them ever turned around and was like, I can't be friends with you anymore because of that, yes, okay, I am going to be really, really upset because I don't want to lose any of them, but I have to, I have to come to a point where I say it's them or me. Do you know what I mean? It's my own mental health. I'm not going to put my own mental health in jeopardy, especially given how far I've come through personal development and, gaining the confidence that I have now. I'm not going back to that place for anybody. I don't care who you are. And that might sound really harsh, but it is the truth. In life, you have to take care of yourself. Everyone is thinking about themselves. They are. They tell you they're not, but they are. And that is something that I was really shocked to learn. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was. I don't know, I guess I just thought that other people did what I did and just put everybody else first. Because I did. I used to let people walk all over us, and now I don't. Now I'm just like, you're either with me or you're not. And if you're not, see you later. Do you know what I mean? And that's not me being harsh. And that isn't me saying that I want to lose people out of my life, because I really don't. The friendships that I have right now, as I've said previously, I am very content with. I'm very happy with. I love my friends. Like I do. And it's not even, I think it's just because they're not like my friendships I've had in the past. They are real friendships and they get it. And they get me. And that's all I've ever wanted, is just to have a friend that actually understands me. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if me doing what is best for me, if that's something they can't deal with and they want to walk away, then I'm not going to stress myself about it. I'll be upset, of course I will, but I've got to let them go. Because at the end of the day, your friends will never ever turn their back on you just because you're doing what's best for your mental health. If they are your real friends, they won't. Yeah, okay, they might get a little bit miffy about it, whatever. Or they might think, I wonder why you're moving like that, or you're doing this. But then they'll get it eventually, and they'll be like, okay, I get it. At first it was hard for us to understand, but now I get it. You were doing it for your own mental health. But like I say, if you don't have friends like that, then they're not your real friends. So you need to let them walk away. But putting yourself first in life, it's the best thing you can ever do. Because honestly, the things I do now, like I'll only ever do something if it's good for my mental health. I'll not do something if I know it's going to affect my mental health. Because at the end of the day, I've worked too hard to get to where I am now to just let one thing push me back. I really don't. I won't do it. I just won't. And, it's not even just about doing things. It's like in certain situations, you've got to learn how to not let yourself get into certain situations. Because I did used to let myself get into certain situations where I would, I don't know, feel anxious, or, and I'm not talking about avoiding things because they make you anxious. That's not what I'm talking about, because we do need to face our fears in life, you know, as hard as it is. But I just mean that, like social settings, if you are in a situation, in a social setting with people that you don't vibe with, or people that affect you mentally, like in a bad way, you need to take yourself out of that social setting. And if people don't like it, again, so what? You do you. That is the saying I live by, actually. You do you. I am always going to do me. I am. Because I know what's best for me. And your friends might go, oh no, it's fine. Like, this will be good for you, or that'll be good for you, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you know yourself. And if it doesn't feel right in your gut, don't do it. If it doesn't sit right with you, it doesn't matter what everybody else is saying or what everybody else is doing. That's them. You know yourself, and you know what's going to affect your mental health and what's not. So, if you are actually on a journey in 2025 and you want to change the way you think or, create new habits, let that be one of them. Putting yourself first for a change, because it's exhausting when you're constantly thinking about everybody else and you're putting everyone else over yourself. And then you've got to also ask the question about some people, would they actually do the same for you as what you're doing for them? And if the answer's no, then you need to stop putting them before yourself, and before your own feelings, and before your own mental health. Because I feel like we've been brought up in a world that teaches you that you shouldn't be selfish. You should always be selfless. But in reality, that's not exactly true. Being a little bit selfish, a little bit, and I don't mean being selfish in sabotaging people for your own gain. That's not what I mean. I mean, be a little bit selfish. Put yourself first for once, for a change. Say, I'm going to do this because I want to do it, and I'll be there for you. I'll be there for other people when you need me to be, but sometimes I need to do what is best for me, and you need to respect that. The people that respect it will respect it. The people that don't give them a second thought. They'll get over it in time. And that is the end of today's episode. That was a little bit shorter than my previous ones, but I'm just honestly feeling like absolute crap. And I was gonna leave the episode until a later date, but I really didn't want to, because I really do enjoy doing these episodes. Even though I feel like crap, I still wanted to record an episode and put out for you on Monday, because I love this podcast. I feel like it's my little baby. But I hope you are all feeling good about the year, and I hope you are not feeling a bit meh, even though it's January and January blues and all that stuff. But I really think if you have things like this, like goals and things like that to look forward to, it actually takes away from the January blues, because you get so excited about trying to reach your goals and things like that. So that's actually a good thing to make you forget about it being not Christmas anymore. But yeah, I hope you're having a really good start to the new year, and I'll speak to you on the next episode. Bye, guys.